Hi, in this guide we're going to look at how to add contacts into your ekmResponse account. To begin, log into your ekmResponse account and click on My Contacts. To add contacts into your account you need to have a contact group. Contact groups determine who resides in those groups and who basically gets your emails. So to add a contact group, if you click on the Create Group button, you'll be asked to give it a name. So in this example we're just going to give it a name of Group 1. You can give it a description if you want. It is only optional and you will be the only people that can see it. It's wise to put something which you can easily relate to that group so that you can quickly see or identify who is in that particular group. Once you're happy with your entry, click the Create Group button. And once that's done, the group will be formed. Obviously there are no contacts in there at the moment, so to get some contacts into the group, click on the Add Contacts button. And you'll then see 5 ways of being able to add people into your group. The first way, new, is the method which allows you to manually, one by one, add people to your group. So as long as you know their first name, and obviously their last name, and of course their email address, then you can simply enter those details in here and click the Add Contact button, and that user will then be added into your contact group. So that's the first user. If you've only got a handful of contacts, that method is probably best. It will only take you a couple of minutes to add, say, 5 or 6 different contacts in there. There are various ways obviously, so to go to the next one, click on Add Contacts, and option number 2, Existing. That method allows you to add an existing user into this particular group. Now existing users are people that are in your system, in your account, which are not assigned to any contact group. So maybe they've been removed from a group and then they reside still within the system, but they're just not allocated to any particular group. So we have one here, Chris Dyer. All you have to do is click on the tick box that's next to Add This Contact. This will apply to all those people that are ungrouped. So you simply click the Add This Contact button, tick the tick box, click on Add Contacts, and that user, Chris Dyer, is now within our contact group. So option number 3, if we click on Add Contacts, number 3 is to import them. And this is particularly useful if you've got a big list of contacts that you don't want to sit and manually enter one by one. There are 2 ways of being able to import contacts. One of the ways is to directly enter their details in the large box in the middle of the screen. Simply click on the box and enter their name, enter their email address, sorry. Okay, so the third option allows you to import contacts into your contact group. If we click on this option, you'll see there are 2 ways of being able to import people into your contact group. The first way is by uploading a CSV file which contains your contacts. The CSV file has to have a header, a row of certain information across the top of the spreadsheet. You've got to make sure that you have a column which is titled Email, and then a column entitled First Name, and a third column entitled Last Name in your spreadsheet, and all the data within those columns, so all the email addresses within the email column, all the first names within the first name column, and all the last names in the last name column will basically be imported. Don't worry if your file contains other values like passwords or company details, address details and so on. Those headers will basically be skipped, and so therefore those details will be, those columns will be ignored. Only email, first name and last name will be imported. So to import a spreadsheet, simply click the Browse button at the top of the page, navigate to the file on your local machine, double click the file. The entry on your machine will be entered there in the top box. Once you're happy with the selection, click on Import Contacts. You'll then be given a notice to say that the import was complete and that the contacts have been imported successfully. The only way it will fail is if the header values are spelt incorrectly, or there is invalid data within the columns themselves. The second method of importing people is to either paste a column of email addresses into the box, which is just below the CSV file prompt. When you do this method, you can only import email addresses. So as I say, you can either import a column, you can paste in a column of email addresses, or you can manually enter the details directly. So for example, if you enter an email address in the box, click the Import Contacts button. That contact will be added, and if we scroll down, you can see a notice again which says your contacts have been imported successfully, and in this example we imported one person to the group. If we click on that Back to Group, we'll be able to see now that we've got a few contacts. We've got 7 now. So they were obviously, most of them are the people that we imported from the file. One was obviously from the manual import, the single entry, and the other one, of course, from the manual entry in the beginning, the single entry. So if we click on Add Contacts again, option number 4 allows you to add contacts, or allows the contacts to be added automatically themselves via a sign-up form which you can place on your website. Now there's 4 different styles by default of the sign-up form. Mainly they all ask for the first name, last name and email address values of the user. When the user enters those details and clicks on the sign-up button, the details are sent automatically to the ekmResponse system and entered within this particular contact group, so you don't have to worry about putting people's details in manually. It's all automatic. So to begin, you simply select the style that you want. In this example, we'll just click the first one. You need to give a name for your newsletter so that the system scripts will work correctly. So we'll just call it monthly newsletter. And then when you're happy with the name, click on Generate Form, and that will basically generate the code that you need to enter into your website. There are 3 parts, 3 pieces of code. The first part is basically a CSS style sheet, if you will. If you paste that within the head section of your website, then that will be referenced accordingly. As you can see, actually there's instructions at the bottom there. The option number 1 is to click on the sign up form style. Instruction number 2 is to copy the code from box 1, which is the CSS, into the head section of your website. And then step number 3, copy the code from box 2, which is the HTML sign up form. That's the actual form, the form code itself, to generate the 3 values, the 3 entries, the first name, last name, and email address, and of course the sign up button, submission button. And then step number 4, copy the code from box 3 into the head section. So again, further code for the header of your website. That's basically the JavaScript that allows the user to be entered automatically into this particular contact group. So when you're happy with that page, when you're happy with that method, to return, click on My Contacts, click back into the contact group, and then click on Add Contacts. And then the 5th method to add contacts is to import them directly from your ekmPowershop account. Now this is of course for users that only have an ekmPowershop, but if you click on that option, you simply need to enter your ekmPowershop username and password. So when you've entered those details, click on Import Customers, and then it may take a few seconds, but all those customer details, all the first names and surnames and email addresses are being imported into your account. Okay, and then once that's finished, you'll then be taken back into the contact group, and you can see now that there's even more people within our group. You can actually see there's navigation buttons at the bottom. We are currently viewing page 1 of 2. So all you do if you want to see the next page is click on the relevant arrow button there, and you can see that there's a couple more people available. If we go back to the first page, you can see them all again. So that's basically all the ways of adding contacts into your contact group.